My love, last night at 2 a.m., when the world was quiet and no one was there to hear you, I heard you. I heard the way your voice softened, not with kindness but with doubt. I heard the words you whispered to yourself, the ones you would never say out loud during the day. The ones that tried to convince you that you're not enough, not worthy, not lovable. But I need you to know something. In that moment, when you felt the most alone, you were. Because I see you. Not just the version you show to the world, but the one behind the silence, the one who keeps fighting even when it hurts, the one who still loves, even after being broken. And tonight, I'm here to speak to that version of you, the real you. The one who deserves to be loved, especially by yourself, my love. Last night, at 2 a.m., when everything around you slowed down and the silence became too loud to ignore, I heard you. Not the version of you that smiles during the day, not the one who pretends everything is okay, but the real you. The tired you, the honest you. I heard the words you whispered into the darkness, the ones you thought no one would ever know. The quiet confessions that slipped out when your guard finally fell apart. You said you're not enough. You said you're falling behind. You said maybe you're too broken to be loved the way you deserve. And the way your voice trembled, it wasn't just doubt, it was pain you've been carrying for far too long. You tried to convince yourself that it doesn't matter, that you'll just wake up tomorrow and pretend again. But I could feel the weight in your chest. I could feel how heavy your thoughts had become. It's exhausting, isn't it? Fighting battles in your mind that no one else can see. Smiling for the world while slowly breaking in silence. But listen to me, really listen this time. Those words you told yourself, they are not the truth. They are echoes of your fears, shaped by moments that hurt you. By people who didn't understand you. By experiences that made you question your worth. But they don't define you. They never did. You've been so hard on yourself. You hold yourself to standards that no one else could survive. You expect yourself to heal overnight, to move on instantly, to never feel weak, to never fall apart. And when you do, you punish yourself for being human. But being human means feeling deeply. It means having nights where everything inside you feels like it's unraveling. It means questioning yourself sometimes. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. I wish you could see yourself the way I do. Not just the strong version, not just the confident version, but the whole you. The one who still gets up after nights like that. The one who keeps going even when their heart feels heavy. The one who still cares, still loves, still hopes, even when it would be easier to shut everything down. There's a quiet strength in you that you don't even recognize. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It shows up in the small moments, when you choose to try again. When you choose not to give up. When you choose to keep believing that maybe, just maybe, things will get better. And I know, sometimes it doesn't feel like enough. Sometimes you look at your life and think you should be further ahead, happier, more certain. You compare yourself to others, to expectations, to timelines that were never meant for you. And in those comparisons, you lose sight of your own journey, but your path is yours. It's not supposed to look like anyone else's. Every step you've taken, every struggle you've faced, every time you've had to rebuild yourself, it all matters. Even the nights where you felt like you were falling apart, especially those nights. Because you didn't give up, you were hurting, yes, you were overwhelmed, yes. But you stayed, you breathed through it, you survived it. And that matters more than you realize. I know there are parts of you that you hide. Parts you think are too messy, too complicated, too damaged for anyone to truly accept. So you keep them locked away, hoping no one ever sees them. But those are the parts that deserve love the most, not the perfect version of you. Not the one who has everything figured out, the raw, unfiltered, imperfect you. The one who cries at 2 a.m., the one who overthinks, the one who feels too much. You don't need to be fixed to be loved. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to prove your worth by being perfect. You already are worthy. And I know it's hard to believe that, when your own mind is telling you the opposite. When your thoughts become so loud that they drown out everything else. When you replay every mistake, every failure, every moment you wish you could change. But you are not your mistakes. You are not the moments where things didn't go the way you wanted. You are not the times you felt like you weren't enough. You are so much more than that. You are the way you care deeply, even when it hurts you. You are the way you try, even when you're scared of failing. You are the way you keep going, even when you feel like stopping. And that is something rare. I know you don't give yourself credit for it. I know you brush it off, thinking it's just what you're supposed to do. But it's not easy, it never was. And the fact that you're still here, still fighting, still holding on, that says everything about who you are. You don't see it because you're too close to your own pain. You've lived with it for so long that it feels normal. But from where I stand, I see someone who has endured more than they should have and still chose to remain soft. That softness, it's not weakness, it's courage, because it's easy to become cold. It's easy to shut people out, to stop caring, to build walls so high that nothing can reach you. But you didn't do that. Even after everything, you still feel, you still love. You still hope, and that matters more than anything. I know those nights will come again. Nights where your thoughts get heavy and the silence feels overwhelming. Nights where you question everything about yourself. But next time, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember that those thoughts are not facts. They are just passing shadows, and shadows only exist because there's light somewhere nearby. You don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. You don't have to accept those harsh words as truth. You can challenge them. You can replace them. You can be kinder to yourself, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Because you deserve that kindness, not just from others, but from yourself. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to someone you love. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with your healing. It's not a race. There's no deadline for becoming who you're meant to be. You're already becoming that person, step by step, moment by moment. Even on the days you feel stuck, you're still moving forward in ways you don't see. Growth doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like feeling everything you've been avoiding. Sometimes it looks like simply getting through the day, and that's okay. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep going. And I'll be right here, in every quiet moment, in every doubt, in every breath you take when things feel heavy. Reminding you that you are not alone. Reminding you that you are stronger than you think. Reminding you that you are worthy of love, especially your own. Because my love, even at 2 a.m., when your voice trembles and your thoughts try to break you, I still hear something else beneath it all. I hear your strength. I hear your resilience. I hear the part of you that refuses to give up no matter how hard it gets. And that part of you, it's real, it's powerful, and it's always been there waiting for you to see it too. My love, there's something I need you to understand about those quiet nights. The ones where your thoughts don't just visit you, they surround you. The ones where the world feels distant, and it's just you and the truth you've been avoiding all day. At 2 a.m., you don't lie to yourself. You feel everything, and I know that scares you. Because in those moments, there's no distraction, no noise, no one to impress. Just you facing the weight of your own heart. I heard how you questioned yourself. Not loudly, not dramatically, but in that soft, almost defeated tone. You asked if you're really worth loving. You wondered if maybe you're the reason things fall apart. You replayed moments, searching for where you went wrong. As if pain always needs a reason, as if every hurt must somehow be your fault. But listen to me carefully. Not everything that broke you was yours to fix. You've been carrying responsibilities that were never meant for you. You've been blaming yourself for things that were out of your control. And over time, that weight turned into something heavier, something that made you believe you're the problem. You're not, you never were. Sometimes people don't stay. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes love doesn't come back the way you give it. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means not everything is meant to stay in your life forever. And I know how much that hurts you, because you don't love halfway. You don't care a little. When you give your heart, you give it fully, you show up. You try, you hold on longer than most people would. And when it ends, it doesn't just feel like a loss. It feels like a piece of you is missing. But even in that, there's something beautiful about you. You didn't let the world harden you. You didn't become careless. You didn't lose your ability to feel deeply. And I know it would be easier if you did. I know it would hurt less if you could just shut it all off. But that's not who you are. You feel, and that is your strength. Even if it makes nights like these harder, even if it makes you question yourself, even if it leaves you lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why your heart still holds on to things it should have let go of. Let me tell you something you've been needing to hear. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to force yourself to forget. You don't have to pretend you're okay when you're not. There's no timeline for letting go. There's no rule that says you should be over it by now. Your heart processes things in its own way, in its own time. And that's not weakness, that's honesty, and I know you've been trying. Maybe not in ways that people can see, but in the quiet decisions you make every day. Choosing not to text back, choosing to move forward even when it feels unnatural. Choosing to keep going, even when part of you wants to stay in the past. That matters, even if it feels small, even if it feels like you're not making progress. Because you are, healing isn't loud. It doesn't always look like big changes or dramatic breakthroughs. Sometimes it's just surviving the night. Sometimes it's waking up and deciding to try again. Sometimes it's sitting with your pain instead of running from it. And you've been doing that, even when it's hard. I also heard the way you doubted your future. The way you wondered if you'll ever feel the kind of love you dream about. The way you questioned if maybe you've already missed your chance. If maybe happiness is something that happens for other people. Not for you. But my love, your story is not over. Not even close. You're still becoming. You're still growing. You're still learning what love means, not just from others, but from yourself. And the love you're searching for, it starts there, with you. With how you speak to yourself when no one is around. With how you treat your own heart when it's hurting. With how you choose to see yourself, not through the lens of your pain, but through the truth of who you are. And the truth is, you are someone worth staying for, someone worth understanding. Someone worth loving, deeply, fully, without hesitation. But before anyone else can give you that kind of love, you have to start giving it to yourself. Not perfectly, not all at once, but little by little, be patient with yourself. On the nights when your thoughts feel overwhelming, don't fight them so hard. Sit with them, but don't let them define you. Let them pass like waves. They may crash for a moment, but they don't stay forever. And when your mind tries to convince you that you're not enough, pause. Question that voice. Ask yourself where it came from, because it didn't start with you. It came from moments that hurt you, from people who didn't see your worth, from experiences that left scars. But those things, they don't get to decide who you are. You do. And I know it's not easy to change the way you see yourself. I know it feels unnatural to replace years of self-doubt with kindness. But every time you choose to be a little softer with yourself, you're rewriting something inside you. You're healing even if you don't feel it yet. And one day, those thoughts won't sound the same. They won't be as heavy. They won't carry the same pain. Because you'll start to believe something different, something true. That you are enough. That you always were, and until that day comes, I want you to hold on to this. You are not alone in those quiet hours. Even when it feels like no one sees you, I do. Even when it feels like no one understands, I hear you. And even when you struggle to believe in yourself, I will remind you. Again and again. Until you start to see it too, my love. There's a moment that comes after the silence, after the thoughts have said everything they wanted to say. After your heart feels like it's been pulled in every direction, there's a moment where you just lie there, staring into nothing, feeling everything and nothing at the same time. I know that moment. It's the one where you're too tired to keep overthinking, but not calm enough to rest. The one where your chest feels heavy, but your eyes stay open. The one where you wish someone would just understand, without you having to explain anything at all. And in that moment, you feel alone in a way that's hard to describe. Not because there's no one in your life, but because no one is there inside your mind, hearing the things you're battling. No one feels the exact weight you're carrying. No one sees how strong you have to be just to hold yourself together. But listen to me, you are not as alone as you feel. Because even in that silence, even in that stillness where your thoughts try to take control, there's a part of you that's still holding on. Quietly, gently, almost unnoticed, that part of you is hope. It's not loud. It doesn't make big promises. It doesn't tell you everything will magically be okay. But it stays. Even when everything else feels like it's falling apart, it stays. It's the reason you didn't give up tonight. It's the reason you're still here, breathing, feeling, trying. And I know sometimes you overlook that. You focus so much on what's hurting that you forget to see what's still holding you together. But that small, steady part of you, it matters more than you think. Because not everyone holds on the way you do. Not everyone keeps trying after feeling this much weight. Not everyone allows themselves to feel deeply and still chooses to continue. You do. Even when you think you're failing, you're still choosing to stay. And I want you to understand something about that feeling you have, that emptiness mixed with heaviness. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean there's something missing inside you. It means you've been carrying too much for too long without giving yourself the space to rest. You've been strong in ways that people don't notice. You've held back tears when you wanted to cry. You've stayed quiet when you had so much to say. You've kept going when your heart was asking for a pause. And eventually, all of that catches up with you. That's what 2 a.m. does. It brings everything you've been holding inside to the surface. Not to hurt you, but to be felt, to be acknowledged, to finally be seen by you. But instead of listening with kindness, you judge yourself for it. You call yourself weak for feeling too much. You tell yourself to just move on. You try to silence your emotions as if there's something to be ashamed of. They're not. Your feelings are not your enemy. They are signals telling you what matters, what hurt you, what still needs care. And when you ignore them, they don't disappear. They just wait. Until moments like this. So instead of pushing them away, try something different. Sit with them, not to drown in them, but to understand them. Ask yourself gently, what am I really feeling right now? Not the surface answer, but the deeper one. Is it sadness because you lost something meaningful? Is it fear because you don't know what's coming next? Is it loneliness because you've been giving so much of yourself without feeling the same in return? Whatever it is, let it exist without judging it. You don't have to fix everything tonight. You don't have to solve your entire life at 2 a.m. You just have to be honest with yourself and a little kinder than you were before. Because the way you speak to yourself in these moments, it shapes how you heal. If you meet your pain with harshness, it grows heavier. If you meet it with understanding, it begins to soften. And I know being kind to yourself doesn't come naturally to you. You're used to pushing yourself, criticizing yourself, expecting more from yourself than anyone else ever could. But you don't have to live that way forever. You can choose a different voice. A quieter one, a gentler one. One that says, I'm allowed to feel this. One that says, I'm doing the best I can. One that says, I will get through this even if it takes time. And maybe you won't fully believe those words right away. That's okay, you don't have to. Just saying them, just allowing the possibility is enough for now. Because healing doesn't begin with certainty, it begins with willingness. The willingness to see yourself differently, the willingness to stop fighting yourself. The willingness to believe that maybe, just maybe, you deserve the same compassion you give to others. And you do give so much to others, don't you? You listen, you care. You try to understand. You show up for people even when you're struggling yourself. But when it comes to you, you hold back that same kindness. Why? Why is it so easy for you to forgive others, but so hard to forgive yourself? Why do you offer patience to everyone else, but rush your own healing? Why do you believe others deserve love, but question if you do? These are the questions your heart is asking, not to confuse you, but to guide you. Because deep down, you already know the answer. You deserve that same love. You deserve that same patience. You deserve that same understanding. Not because you've earned it, not because you've proven anything, but simply because you exist. And existence alone is enough. You don't have to become someone else to be worthy. You don't have to achieve more, fix everything, or have a perfect life to deserve peace. You just have to allow yourself to be human, to feel, to rest, to heal. And I know you're tired, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. Deeply tired in a way that sleep alone can't fix. That kind of tiredness comes from carrying too much for too long without putting it down. So tonight, you don't have to carry everything. You can let some of it go. Not forever, but just for now. Let your mind rest, let your heart breathe. You don't have to hold on to every thought, every memory, every fear. Some things can wait, and as you lie there in that quiet space between exhaustion and peace, I want you to remember this. You are still here. After everything, you are still here, and that means something. It means you're stronger than the thoughts that try to break you. It means there's something inside you that refuses to give up. It means your story is still being written, even in moments like this. Especially in moments like this, because these are the moments that shape you. Not by breaking you, but by revealing you. Showing you what you've been carrying, what you need, what you're capable of becoming. And one day, you'll look back at nights like this differently. Not as moments of weakness, but as moments where you met yourself honestly. Where you faced your thoughts, your fears, your pain, and stayed. You didn't run. You didn't disappear. You stayed with yourself, even when it was hard. And that is something to be proud of, even if no one else sees it. Even if no one else understands it, I see it, I understand it. And I will keep reminding you of it, until the voice in your head starts to sound a little more like mine, and a little less like the one that doubts you.